Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to St. James Family Worship, the perfect place for people who aren't. Thank God that you've taken the time to be a part of this devotional review tonight here at St. James Family Worship. St. James, I pray that you had a phenomenal time today, and let me say thank you to Elder Taylor for setting in for me today at St. James Family Worship. I'm sure you had an awesome time at St. James. God bless you. Today is day 339. 339 of our Open Door Devotional Review. And today's topic was living with responsibility. Living with responsibility. And our key verse came from Ephesians. Ephesians, where we at? Oh, wow. 5:15. Ephesians 5:15. Here begins the reading of the word. Live life then with a due sense of responsibility. Wow. Live life with a due sense of responsibility, not as men who do not know the meaning and purpose of life, but as those who do. Talking about responsibility. You know, when you start dealing with responsibility, we live in a world nowadays where people don't like to take responsibility. But God put us here on earth, and all the way back to Adam, where Adam allowed Eve to entice, well, let me put it this way. Eve ate of the forbidden fruit. Adam ate, and then here comes responsibility. When God came and spoke to Adam, Adam would not take responsibility for what he had done. He would not take responsibility. We've got to live with responsibility. The first thing he said was, "This woman that you gave me." Life is filled with responsibility. And as I was reading the devotional today, it says there's been a dramatic shift today as it relates in people being responsible. You know, people make excuses all the time and do not accept responsibility for their actions. We can always use a scapegoat. We can always look for a crutch and not be responsible. But I believe that God gives everyone what they need to survive. Yes, you've got to be able to take the tools that God gives you to make whatever you need in your life. You got to live up to responsibilities. You know, a lot of times when we're raising kids, sometimes our kids won't be responsible. And what you have to do is you have to teach them responsibility. And along with responsibility, there has to be rules. Rules come with responsibility. I remember 1975, July 4th, 1975. My father was killed in an alcohol-related wreck in 75. My mom still had about 5 or 6 children at home that she had to take care of by herself as a single mom. Hear this story right quick and I'm going to let you go. My mom taught me responsibility. Here's how she taught us responsibility. Back in 1975, my mother applied for food stamps. Seems like nowadays food stamps are pretty easy to get, and a lot of them. But in 1975, my mom had 6 kids at home. She applied for food stamps and she was denied for food stamps. She worked at a Wally Clegg's chicken factory, which was bought out later by Tyson and so forth. But she was just a chicken plant worker with 6 kids and could not qualify for food stamps. My mom didn't get bitter and say, well, I deserve food stamps. I'm entitled to food stamps. My mom came home and let the kids know, well, I've got to be working because I got to take care of y'all. The olders got to take care of the youngers, and we got to make this thing work. Hello, somebody. And she taught us responsibility. You are responsible for your actions. If you want something out of life, you got to get up, go get it on your own, because this world don't owe you nothing. The government don't owe you food stamps, son. They don't owe you anything. You got to get up and make a living for yourself. I thank God that I heard her when I was small. And from that day, I decided to live with responsibility. Can't say that I've been responsible all my life in every avenue that I did, but I always remember my mom said, you are responsible. You've got to do what it takes. Don't look for a handout. Don't look for somebody to give you something. Don't feel a sense of entitlement that you're entitled to something that you don't work for. We've got to live with responsibility. Let me read this text and I'm going to let you go. Live life then with the due sense of responsibility, not as men who do not know the meaning and purpose of life, but of those that do. The purpose of life is to worship God and to give him glory. The purpose of life, I believe it was Ecclesiastes, hear the whole complete matter. It's the duty of man to worship God. So be responsible, especially responsible in your worship. God bless you and God keep you is my prayer for you tonight. Love you.